Blind Beggar played violin outside Millionaire's gate. They threw coins like he was a dog until the world recognized his music as priceless. The sky was just turning pale, and hot wind already swirled dust at the street corners. Across the Niger River, the wealthy neighborhood oasis Ga Redens still slept in the quiet hum of air conditioners. Outside its high walls, Amadou Diabate sat on his worn-out mat. He wore a faded cotton robe, his sandals cracked, revealing dry, cracked heels. His eyes were hollow, like dry wells, yet he held his violin steady under his chin. As the bow touched the strings, a deep, haunting melody flowed out. This wasn't like the usual street music, no pop beats, no mosque chants. It sounded like the Niger River in dry season, like winds sighing through the Sahel, like an ancient, forgotten voice whispering. A street sweeper slowed his broom. A mango vendor stopped calling out. Even the skinny dog at the corner pricked up its ears and lay down quietly. Amadou's violin case lay open at his feet. On its lid was a yellowed note in French and Bamba Are, one song, one story from our ancestors. Inside, a few coins and a crumpled bill. To him, these weren't charity, they were small payments for memory. Then, a black Mercedes S-Class rolled up, tires crunching over gravel. The door opened. Polished black shoes stepped out, followed by crisp linen pants and a tailored blue shirt. Pierre Dupont, Bamako's youngest mining Tycoon, a French Malian who owned gold mines and land before turning 40. He frowned, as if even the morning air smelled of poverty. He walked straight toward the gate, not even glancing at Amadou. But just as he swiped his card, he paused. Reaching into his jacket, he pulled out a handful of coins and flicked his wrist, clink. A 5-franc coin hit the edge of the violin case. The rest scattered, some rolling into the dirt, one even striking Amadou's left hand, leaving a faint red mark. Time froze. The sweeper froze. The mango vendor gaped. The dog at the corner growled. Everyone watched Amadou, waiting for anger, curses. But Amadou just lifted his bow from the strings. The music stopped. He didn't look up. His empty eyes read into nothing as he whispered, so quiet it cut through the silence, I am not a dog. Pierre paused, finally glancing at him. Not with shame, just annoyance. What, not enough go buy bread? He swiped his card, and the heavy gate slammed shut, sealing off two worlds. Amadou didn't move. Slowly, he bent down, picking up each coin with calloused fingers, placing them gently back in the case, like handling sacred things. Then, he lifted his violin again. This time, the song was different. It root low, like a caged lion's growl. Then it turned mournful, like a mother calling for her lost child in war. Finally, it rose fierce, almost defiant. Like a cry to the sky. A schoolgirl dropped a coin and ran off. The sweeper clasped his hands, whispering a prayer. And on the corner, a girl with a backpack stood frozen, phone recording. Her name was Layla Konate, 19, a media student at Bamako University. She'd been rushing to class but stopped, stunned by the cruelty and the music that answered it. She didn't know it yet, but this 3-minute video would spread like wildfire across Africa, then the world. Pierre tossing coins. Amadou's quiet I am not a dog. The heart-breaking song that followed. Back in her dorm, Layla uploaded it to African Voices with a caption, we throw coins at street musicians. But do we hear the music, or just noise? Are we giving money, or stealing dignity today? I saw a blind man called a dog. And his violin played the heartbeat of Mali. She hit post, then lay in bed, racing. Meanwhile, Pierre lounged by his pool, sipping orange juice, scrolling through stock news. He had no idea his flick of the wrist had lit a fire online. Amadou packed up his violin, slung the case over his shoulder, and tapped his worn bamboo cane along the road to the abandoned bus stop he called home. He didn't know about the video. He didn't see He only remembered his grandfather's last words, Amadou, music isn't for begging. It's so our ancestors' voices don't die in the wind. That night, Layla's video exploded. Students read it. Musicians reacted, that violin. It sounds like a griot's spirit. He's not just playing, he's singing the soul of the Kora. By noon the next day, it had 500,000 views. People dug up Amadou's past, The Diabate family of Ks, one of West Africa's most famous griot lineages, singers of Mali's ancient kings. We let a living legend beg on the streets. Anger spread. Students protested outside Pierre's office. Apologize. Respect our culture. Pierre finally watched the video. And for the first time, he heard music, the sorrow, the pride buried in those notes. He remembered sitting by a fire as a child, listening to an old griot tell stories of Sundiata Keita. Back then, his eyes had shone. Now he was the man who threw coins at history. Standing at his window, sta ring at the slum's flickering lights, he felt it. The wall wasn't just separating rich and poor. It was cutting souls in half. And in the bus stop, Amadou hummed his melody softly, an aerie of the storm. That coin hitting the violin case wasn't the end. It was a spa arcade in dry grass. And the wind was coming. She jolted awake, the screen blinding her. Her post on African Voices, the video of the blind violinist, had been read over 800,000 times. Comments were snowballing past 50,000. Netizens had rewritten the captions, each sharper than the last. The blind man treated like a dog by a Tycn was playing the epic of the Mali Empire. You threw coins, he caught 1,000 years of history. We humiliated the last griot. Layla rubbed her eyes, heart pounding. She hadn't expected a random clip to ignite a wildfire. Scrolling through comments, waves of messages flooded in. I passed by him yesterday and tossed coins too. Now I feel like I was feeding a stray dog. I'm ashamed. That melody. My grandma used to sing it. She said it was Sundiata Keita's war chant. The griot tradition is dying, and we're mocking the ones keeping it alive. Then came the international media. BBC Africa, blind street musicians humiliation. Spa RKS outrage, performance linked to endangered cultural heritage. France's Le Monde, when capital throws coins at tradition, what do we lose? Layla called Amadou, no answer. She decided to find him at dawn. Meanwhile, in a forgotten village in southern Mali, Sankanda, life moved untouched by the storm. Roosters crowed, women ride clay pots to the river, and the village chief, old Musa, sat under a mango tree, listening to crackling radio news. Cultural controversy in Bamako's wealthy district involving a blind street musician claiming griot heritage. Musa frowned and turned it off. City people stirring trouble again. He muttered to his son, your cousin Amadou is EMBA rassing us in Bamako. His son stayed silent. Amadou was the family's shame. Blinded at 5, seen as cursed by the gods. He refused to farm, insisted on playing music, then left to beg on the streets. To the village, griots were wise historians, not performers for coins. He's disgraced our ancestors, Musa sighed. From today, no one speaks his name. The village's silence clashed with Bamako's chaos. In a small Bamako cafe, Layla finally found Amadou. He sat calmly sipping mint tea, untouched by the storm. Mr. Amadou, do you know what's happening online? She asked ruefully. He tilted his head slightly. Yes. People told me many are talking about me. Aren't you shocked? Angry, he shook his head, fingers tracing his violin case. I don't play to be seen. But if they hear our ancestors' voices now, that's good. Then a white man rushed in, clutching sheet music. Marcel Dubois, an ethnomusicology professor from Paris. He'd seen the video, recognized a NEAR lost fragment of the epic of Sundiata Amadou's playing. Sir. Marcel gasped. That melody, does it start with the lion roars at dawn? The earth trembles. Amadou stiffened. Yes. My grandfather taught me. Marcel Nearly knelt. God, only 3 written fragments exist, locked in archives. How did you? My grandfather was the last griot who knew the full Sundiata, Amadou said quietly. Before he died, he hid the last 3 chapters in the strings. Hid in the strings, a griot tradition. When words were forbidden, history lived in melodies, passed down secretly. Blinded young, Amadou's memory became his weapon. Mayor Cell's eyes welled. You're not a street performer. You're a living library. The news exploded. Hashtag Find Amadou trended across Africa. Youth launched street griot movements, playing traditional music in Bamako, Dakar, or Abidjan, reclaiming their roots. A Senegalese teen said in a video, "My grandfather was a griot but never sang for me. Today, I'll lia rn. I won't let my children ask who are we?" And hear silence. Yet in Sankanda, the air grew heavier. The elders banned contact with Amadou. "We don't sell our history." Moussa Dekle read. But that evening, an old woman, Amadou's aunt, pulled her grandson Issa aside. "Your uncle plays our family's pride," she whispered. "Go practice the Sundia to be the river." Quietly. Issa, 15, nodded. That night, he hid in the mango grove, singing, Sundiata, son of the lion, born in suffering, risen by justice. Meanwhile, Pierre Dupont's empire crumbled. Employees' morale plummeted, partners questioned ethics. Hashtag boycott Dupont Ministrended. His wife urged, just apologize. End this. Pierre refused. They're not attacking the coins I threw. They're attacking the man I became. He couldn't sleep. The clink of coins haunted him, followed by that sorrowful violin. He dug up an old photo, 7-year-old Pierre, wide-eyed, listening to a griot by a fire. When did I stop? He ring the music, he whispered. Rese urchin griot. He found UNESCO reports, West African oral traditions vanishing at alarming rates. Fewer than 100 young griots remain. A photo showed an elder playing to empty streets, tourists snapping pictures. Pierre's chest ached. He contacted Layla. I need to see Amadou. Not as a Tycn but as a Malian who forgot his roots. They met in a quiet tea house. Pierre's voice cracked. That day I was wrong. Amadou listened silently. I thought you were just another Beggar. I've grown. Numb to hands asking for money. And now Amadou asked. Now I heard the story in your music. My grandfather was from a griot lineage too. He made me study business, said tradition won't feed you. Pierre laughed bitterly. I succeeded. But I'm empty. Amadou nodded. Music isn't for filling pockets. It's for filling souls. Then Mayor Cell burst in, breathless. Amadou. Your chant, it's a memory code. I decoded the START, it's the Sundiata's hidden chapter. Legends say it can wake a nation's forgotten pride. The room fell still. For the first time, Amadou smiled faintly. His grandfather's mission, at last, had found its answer. The storm wasn't over. But beneath the silence, seeds had begun to grow. The oil lamp's glow danced on the shrine's cracked mud walls as Amadou's chant flowed like a hidden river, soaking into the ancient staffs and silent core ARPs. The old Bamba Are words, Sundiata, lion's son, Mandinka, sort of. Justice echoed as if waking spirits asleep for centuries. Issa lay flat outside, ear pressed to the ground, drinking in every syllable. For the first time, his name Issa Diabate felt heavy with meaning. Yet when the singing stopped and the shrine door creaked open, the village's coldness remained. Next morning, sunlight hit Sankanda's dirt paths. Children's laughter should have filled the air, but when Amadou's group stepped out, it died instantly. Women yanked kids away. Elders turned their backs. A teen whistled woof woof, Spar King giggles. Look! The Beggar griot's back, someone shouted. No violin, no pride, who's he fooling? Layla flushed with anger. You're cruel. He's your own blood. Our blood. A man with a hoe sneered. He betrayed the griot's honor. Diabate music is for kings and ancestors, not street coins. Pierre moved to speak, but Mayor Cell stopped him. Not now, the Cholayer whispered. They're not SCA red of Amadou. They're SCA red of change. Amadou, unshaken, tapped his cane tawa RD the village well. Issa sprinted over, grabbing the bamboo stick. Let me, uncle. A few villagers softened at the sight. Chief Moussa watched from his doorway, grip tightening on his staff, but he didn't strike. That night, Amadou refused to bed in the village. I'll sleep in the shrine, he said.
closer to the ancestors. Pierre couldn't rest.
The day's hostility, Isa's hungry eyes, Amadou's quiet strength, it all churned in him.
He crept to the shrine.
Inside, Amadou sat by lamplight, fingers brushing the chorus strings without sound, like whispering to an old friend. Can't sleep, Amadou asked, not turning. No, Pierre admitted, sitting cross-legged.
I keep thinking of my father. He said, tradition is baggage.
Business is the future, so I studied, went to France, built companies. Yet now, I feel I've lost more than I gained.
Amadou stilled. Did your father ever hear a griot song once?
He said, these tales are too old. Useless for deals.
Amadou sighed.
Useful or useless depends on the HRT. Music isn't for deals.
It's to keep souls from drying up.
Suddenly, he faced Pierre. Know why griots remember millennia of history? Because they memorize well? No.
Amadou shook his head.
They see not words, but pictures. Every note is an image, every melody, a path. I'm blind, but in here, he touched his chest.
I hold a map of the Mali Empire.
Sundiata's village, his battles, Timbuktu.
All alive.
Pierre froze. That was why Amadou's music pierced Artias, not skill, but sight. By the third day, Pierre shed his suit for a borrowed cotton robe. He ca ride water, fixed roofs, never mentioning his title.
Slowly, cold sta reservoir med to nods. Meanwhile, Isa shadowed Amadou, sneaking to the shrine to hear the epic of Sundiata. Sundiata couldn't walk as a boy. They mocked him as boneless. But his spirit was strong.
Guided by a lion, he rose to rule empires.
Amadou's voice deepened.
Isa, true strength isn't in the body, it's knowing who you are.
Isa clenched his fists. Uncle, teach me the Korah. Teach me the epic. A pause. It's ha-road thousands of notes. Millions of words.
You'd sta Irv. I'd rather sta Irv, Isa said, eyes blazing, than be a man who forgets his name. For the first time in Yars, Amadou smiled. That evening, Isa's father, a stubborn Famer, caught him. Dragging him home, he raised a cane before the whole village.
Who said you could Leah RN from that Beggar? Griots are dead. You'll farm. Feed this family.
Isa knelt but held his chin high. Father. If I don't Leah RN, who'll tell my children who Sundiata was? Who'll say we're not Beggars, we're the lion's blood. Silence. Then a frail voice cracked the air. The old woman who'd brought Amadou porridge stepped forward. Road beat him, Amadou. But remember, your father's last words were, a shame. No one sings our songs anymore.
She bowed to Amadou. Master, if you'll take him, let Isa Leah RN. Our family mustn't lose its roots.
Isa's father froze. The cane slipped. Chief Musa shut his eyes, a tear streaking his wrinkled cheek. That night, in the shrine's flickering light, Amadou placed Isa's small hands on the Korah. First note, voice of the EARTH, our land.
Our beginning.
The string hummed, deep and wa rm. Second note, language of the wind, freedom.
Migration. Our unbroken spirit.
Another note rang out. Isa's hands shook, but his gaze didn't waver. Amadou began the epicene Bamba Ra, voice ancient as the Sahel *. At dawn's first breath, when the lion Roa read a child was born in suffering. Legs weak, but his HRT held kingdoms mocked, yet he'd command nations. Isa echoed, voice thin but fierce. Outside, the old woman wept into her palms.
Musa wiped his eyes.
Pierre's chest ached. This wasn't music anymore. It was blood remembering itself. Then Urcel's recorder caught something, a whisper beneath the chant, like coded syllables, a rhythmic pulse. The key.
Urcel gasped.
The hidden chapters trigger, said to wake a people's memory. Layla quickly isolated the sound on her phone. Inside, strings and voices wove together, a flood breaking 30 yards of ice. Sankanda's night was silent no more. The seed had cracked open. The roots were stirring.
After Isa's first lesson in the shrine, Sankanda felt different, like wa rmth had seeped into the air.
At dawn, sunlight cut through mango leaves, painting the shrine stone steps where Isa already sat, practicing voice of the EARTH and language of the wind. His fingers fumbled, strings screeching, but his focus never broke, like carving a masterpiece. Amadou listened, occasionally tapping his cane to correct a note. He said little, but the faint smile gave him away. Meanwhile, Layla and Ursel hadn't slept. They replayed last night's recording, especially the cryptic whisper beneath the chant. Ursel ran it through audio software, sweat beading his brow. This can't be, he suddenly yelled, sta rightling Layla. What the hidden chapter ski, it's not just melody. It's a sonic code. He pointed to the waveform. These frequencies match the resonance chambers under Niani, the Mali Empire's ancient capital. Legend says Sundiata proclaimed his kingdom there. Layla gaped. You mean this music can activate something physically? Not exactly. Ursel shook his head. It unlocks memory, genetic, collective. Like a key. Griots designed it so only true keepers could hear the deepest history. He spun to Amadou. Master, you must play the full, hidden chapter. This isn't just music, it's a living fossil of human culture. Amadou stayed silent, his blind gaze drifting into the shrine's shadows. No, he finally said. The chapter only works when ERTSA ready. Played for recording it dies. And he paused. Some forces shouldn't be woken lightly. Ursel Nearly begged. But if it's lost again, humanity never gets it back. Pierre tried too. Master, you always say new sounds for old stories, recording ICER new sound. Amadou shook his head. Recordings dead. Music lives in breath, in listeners' pulses, in wind through shrine cracks. The standoff broke when Chief Musa entered, grim. Amadou. Outsiders here. French. With UN papers. They ask for you. A dust-caked SUV rolled in. Out stepped Henri Klein, UNESCO's Africa advisor, 50s, khaki-clad, fluent Bambara honored griot. He greeted, I ask you, let the world hear Mali's voice. Musa blocked him. We don't need outsiders dictating what to save or disque road. Henri stood firm. Chief, I'm not here to save your culture. I'm here to guard it. Every day, traditions vanish. Griots on the endangered heritage list, without action, in 20 ARS, all will have a re-recordings, no living keepers. He pulled out a dossier, UNESCO's Griot Revival Plan, with funding, training, digital archives. Asterisk we won't take you from Sankanda. We'll build a Griot school here. But first, we must record the hidden chapter. Silence. Elders murmured. Some wavered. Amadou raised a hand. Henri, he said, is your protection pinning butterflies in glass cases? Or letting them fly? Their Henri straightened. The latter. Amadou nodded. Then 2 conditions. Name them. 1. Recording stays in the shrine. Audio only, no faces, no location tags. No vultures. Agreed. 2. Amadou's voice softened, my people join. Issa sits front and center. Issa trembled, nodding fiercely. Musa exhaled, stepping aside. Go, child. Remember, you Leah are in for your blood, not outsiders. 3. Nights later, moonless. The shrine's oil lamps dimmed to embers. Ursel and Henry's mics waited like reverent disciples. Issa knelt at Amadou's feet, breath held. Pierre, Layla, elders, and villagers crowded the doorway. Amadou cradled the kora, fingers brushing strings like touching ancestral bones. He inhaled, then played. The first note wasn't music. It was alive, slow, deep, sacred. Each sound a seed in silent soil. Then came the chant. Not the epic's words, but syllables beyond writing, the hidden chapter, the sound key to memory. As it swelled, the impossible happened. Wind died. Trees stilled. Every village dog froze, EARS pricked, as if he ringed the EARTHs he beat. Inside, the lamp's flame burned blue, unwavering. Ursel's audio spectrograph spiked wildly. Amadou's voice rose, layered like a chorus of souls. Issa gasped, seeing visions, a great fire, ancestors singing, a white-haired griot playing. The shrine's walls hummed. Cracks glowed faint gold. Villagers outside clutched their chests, remembering who they were. Musa collapsed, sobbing.
Father, I hear you. 36 minutes. The last note faded. Silence. Then a dog barked. Wind returned. The world exhaled. But everyone knew something had changed. Marcel and Henri Sta read at the recording complete, light, speechless. They just preserved one of humanity's rarest treasures. Amadou set down the Cora, sweating but serene. Issa hugged him, weeping. Uncle! I saw them! Our ancestors! Amadou stroked his hair. Now, child, you're truly a diabate. Then Layla checked her phone and froze. The key clip she'd recorded it had auto-uploaded. The caption she'd drafted was now viral. He RD this, dreamed of ancestors rs in peace. The storm was coming again. But this time, Sankanda wouldn't stay silent. The news of the hidden chapter recording spread like Niger River floodwaters. Overnight, the world knew. BBC, Reuters, AFP all blah read, Molly and Blind Griot revise ancient epic, humanity's soundcode deciphered. The Berlin Philharmonic, PA Opera sent invites. UNESCO declared Sankanda Griot Heritage an emergency project, funding it with $1 million grant. Meanwhile, in his Bamako office, Pierre Dupont Sta read at the footage Amadou playing in the shrine, the hidden chapter vibrating through the screen, then cut to his own past self, arrogantly tossing coins. Shame coiled in his gut like a snake. What have I done? He slammed his desk. The Mercedes that once ferried him through Oasis Gardens now seemed a cold, metal beast. He closed the stock Cha RTS, pulled up UNESCO's Griot revival plan. One line jumped out, establish new Griot Academy in Sankanda. A lightning bolt struck him. Redemption no. Rebuilding. 3 days later, a mud-splattered SUV rolled into Sankanda again. But this Pierre wore a faded local tunic. Sandals, a canvas bag, no briefcase, just an unfinished violin body, custom ved by Bamako's best craftsman. Chief Musa and elders circled him, Wari. Why come Musa growled. To price tag our treasure. Pierre didn't argue. He knelt before the shrine, lifting the violin. Chief, elders, Issa, Master Amadou. His voice shook. I beg forgiveness. Those coins insulted not just a musician, but your people's soul. I was wrong. Unforgivably. He bowed his head. This violin, Malian mahogany, got strings. But it's incomplete. Let me stay, Leah RN to make it sing. In return, I'll fund rebuilding the shrine, a new Griot Academy, scholarships for every child who wants to. Leah RN. Silence. Faces shifted from fury to doubt to shock. Musa scoffed. Money, we don't want your money. How many forests has it burned? How many ruins destroyed? Pierre met his gaze. Yes, I've destroyed. Now, I want to build. Not with bulldozers, with these. He raised his hands, blistered from hauling water. From the shrine, Amadou's voice, Pierre. Pierre turned. Come in. Inside, oil lamps flickered. Amadou looked at him. You wish to Leah RN? Yes, Pierre said firmly. To listen. To respect. To be human. A pause. Then, good. But first lesson isn't playing. What is it? Letting go, Amadou said. Your title. Your wealth. Your pride. Here, you're not C. You're a student. Your first note must be voice of the EARTH, same as Issa. Can you? Pierre knelt deeper, forehead touching the dirt. I can. I will. Next on, an absurd yet sacred first class began. Amadou sat center, Issa left, Pierre right. Before them, two violins, Issa's battered relic, Pierre's unfinished new one. A violin isn't wood and strings, Amadou said. It's the He-Art's echo. First lesson, stillness. He tapped his cane thud, thud, and had them close eyes. Pierre actually did, Issa mimicked, but hear this. It's EARTH's pulse. Your ERT must sink like soil, or the sound lies. Issa breathed evenly. Pierre's sweat dripped. His mind raced, BOA RD meetings, stocks, unsigned contracts. He peeked, found Amadou watching. Restless, I can't focus. Because you're still Pierre Dupont. Be student Pierre, lose the name, find the sound. Village kids gathered, giggling at Pierre fumbling the bow like hot iron. Look. Big boss plays. Sounds like a dying donkey. Pierre flushed, Nearly quit. But Issa whispered, mocking is the he-rt demons test. Pass it, calm comes. Pierre exhaled, shut his eyes, clung to the thud, thud. Slowly, the noise faded. He was a boy again, by a fire pit, listening to an old griot. His breath steadied. Amadou's lips curled, just slightly. A week later, Pierre could scratch out voice of the EARTH. Off-key, screechy, but he practiced daily, hauling water, chopping wood between sessions. Villagers GLA residential softened too. Puzzled sta res. Meanwhile, Henri and Marcel arrived with UNAir Kitex. Plans unfolded, traditional materials, Amadou insisted. Thatch, mudbrick, but add solar panels, moisture-proofing, a recording studio. Classrooms. Dorms. A library. Issa bounced. I'll teach the little ones. Pierre handled logistics, calling in favors, ensuring clean supply chains, no bribes. At the groundbreaking, the village gathered. Amadou, guided by Issa, drew a circle in the dirt with his cane. Not here, he said, new roots grow. Pierre offered Moussa the first shovel. After a beat, Moussa took it, dug in. A silent truce. For the ceremony, Issa and Pierre played their first lesson, voice of the EARTH. Issa's notes wavered but held, Pierre's screeched like a tortured cat. Yet when the sounds overlapped, Amadou smiled. He told the crowd. Not perfect music. But a START. When different voices strive for one root, music lives. Sunset painted the Academy's foundation stone. Pierre studied his blistered palms, then Amadou's blind yet all-seeing eyes. For the first time, he felt rich. Coins had clattered. Shame had cut deep. But now, a door creaked open on ruins, yet also on redemption. 3 months later, as the first rains of the season soaked Senkanda, the new Griot Academy stood firm, its thatched roof darkened by water, mud-brick walls gleaming with waterproof beeswax. Solar panels powered the recording studio and LED lights. A fusion of ancient and modern, the academy was a stubborn sprout in Ba-Ren soil. The opening ceremony happened under mango trees, no red or pet, no champagne. Just villagers circled around Amadou, with Issa, Pierre, and Layla flanking him. UNESCO's Henri Klein presented a ceremonial check, but the real wealth sat in the audience, 23 students. From Mali, Guinea, Burkina Faso. Ages 8 to 25. FARM boys like Issa. Blind Abdullah. Forward child soldier. K.A. Rim. And 3 girls, Fatima, Amina, SARA. Breaking the griots must be male taboo. Amadou announced in Bambara in French, this isn't a music school. It's the new Griot Academy. You'll learn 3 things, memory. Justice. Peace. Lesson 1, the weight of memory. Amadou didn't start with instruments. He had the students sit in a circle. Close your eyes, he said. Tell me your grandfather's name. Silence. Finally, a boy mumbled, I don't remember. Your village. Any special stories? More silence. Amadou nodded. This is why we're here. We've lost memory. Without it, we're trees without roots, toppled by wind. He signaled Issa to play the epic of Sundiata. As the strings hummed, Amadou narrated, at birth, Sundiata's mother dreamed of a lion. His people called him a monster. Yet he united the Mandinka, built the Mali Empire. His lessons suffering births strength. Mockery fuels greatness. The students leaned in. Blind Abdullah's fingers twitched, mimicking the strings. Child soldier K.A. Rim's fists unclenched slightly. Each of you, Amadou's voice deepened, has your own Sundiata, maybe your father dying in the mines. Your mother walking miles for water. Your home lost to war. These are our history. Music turns pain into power, not hate. Lesson 2, the capitalist's hands and the blind boy's EARS. Pierre's progress was agonizingly slow. While Issa mastered Sundiata's first chapter, Pierre still butchered voice of the EARTH. Kids mocked him, the donkey's braying again. See, did your stocks crash today? Pierre endured. His hands blistered, calloused, once swelled from overuse. Layla asked, why torture yourself? Your money's enough. Money buys buildings, he said. Not understanding, unless I feel this violin's struggle, I'll never truly respect Amadou or these kids. One day, blind Abdullah took Pierre's trembling hand. Sir, he whispered, your notes. Cold, like stone.
RT must be hot for sound to live. Uncle says heat comes from memory. Pierre froze, then remembered his childhood fireside, his father's tenderness.
He played again.
Still off key, but now, human. Amadou, listening at the door, smiled. Lesson 3, Digital Griots and Global Echoes. Layla's digital griot class went viral. Students filmed stories with phones. Fatima's mom trekking miles for water, my mother, stronger than the Niger. Sa Raz anti-forced Riyaj chant, girls' wisdom song, trending across West Africa.
The movement spread, Senegalese fishermen sang about rising seas, #singing the ocean crisis. Ghanaian grannies' proverbs became rap. Cut a tree not victory, debt to your grandchildren. Nigerian ex-militants launched drop guns, pick up drums after seeing Ka Rim's story. The academy became a beacon.
Donations poured in, even 10 violins from the Berlin Philharmonic, inscribed. Tell your stories with these.
Shadows and storms then, threats. One night, red paint SMEA read the academy walls, music is Satan's tool. Stop pagan worship.
Villagers panicked.
Shut it down. We can't fight extremists.
Pierre Rents grumbled, will this put food on tables? Find wives? Pierre stood firm. No longer the coin-throwing Tycn, just student Pierre, calloused and clear. They fia are not music, he said, but awakening. When people ask who am I? When pain turns to song, not violence, their lies die.
Amadou agreed, griots never hid in shrines. We've ended rs, spoken for the weak.
Today's battlefield RTS. Our weapon truth. He expanded the academy, adding peace mediation courses using tradition to solve modern conflicts. The flood in the unbreakable choir crisis peaked when storms swelled the Niger River.
Floodwaters breached the academy. Evacuate.
Amadou ordered. As rain lashed, students and villagers hauled
instruments and manuscripts to higher ground.
Walls crumbled. Roofs leaked. Then Amadou raised a hand.
Light the lamps. Play.
Under flickering oil lights, the impossible happened. Issa's violin wailed like wind. Abdullah's kora thrummed like he beat. Ka Rim's drum roa read like thunder. Fatima's voice soa read above the storm. Layla live-streamed it.
50,000 viewers watched globally. The caption, Mali's music won't drown.
Neighboring villages paddled canoes to help and found themselves singing along.
Not Fia R. Unity.
The flood would recede.
But that night's song unforgettable. The new Griot Academy hadn't just survived. It had proven its soul was unbreakable.
The rain stopped. The floodwaters receded.
The new Griot Academy's mud brick walls bore water stains, but the roof held.
The recording studio survived. And that storm livestream had made the Academy famous. UNESCO Pierres sent a glowing invite. Perform at World Heritage Day.
The world must hear you. Henry Klein was ecstatic.
This is historic.
Mali's voice on the global stage. Students erupted.
Issa, Abdullah, Fatima dreaming of passports, planes, performing abroad. Only Amadou stayed calm. Pierre urged him, Master, this is how we shall re the Griot legacy.
You must go. Amadou shook his head. My roots are here. My listeners, this land, these people.
But who'll speak for us if not you? Issa pleaded.
Uncle, you're our voice. A long silence. Then Amadou nodded. Fine. But not me. Us. He'd take only Issa and Abdullah. The future isn't one old man. It's the young. Pierres. UNESCO Hall. Crystal chandeliers. Suited diplomats.
When Amadou stepped on stage, guided by Issa, robed in white, holding the hybrid violin Pierre funded, the room rose in applause. The host announced, Amadou Diabate, last guardian of Mali's griots, will play the lost Sundiata Code Unhiard for a
millennium. Lights dimmed. Silence. Amadou lifted the violin but didn't play.
He tilted his head, as if seeing beyond the walls. Then, the first note.
Deep. Flowing.
Like the Niger at dawn. His voice followed ancient Bamba Ra syllables, the hidden chapter. Not melody, but memory given sound. Pierre, wheelchair-bound from flood injuries, gripped the armrests, TRS streaming.
Finally, he understood, this wasn't music.
It was the Mali Empire's soul whispering. Backstage, Issa and Abdullah listened, then quietly joined Issa on kora, Abdullah on drum.
3 generations. Past, present, future. The last note faded. For 10 seconds, utter stillness. Then, 15 minutes standing ovation. Diplomats wept. Amadou bowed slightly, his blind gaze drifting. Through the translator, thank you. But this isn't a performance, it's remembering the real stage under Sankanda's mango trees. In every child craving ancestors' stories. This music belongs to the EARTH. To the people. Never to golden trophies. Aftermath. Global frenzy. Berlin Philharmonic. CA Renigi Hall. Ad agencies offering millions for Sundiata code ringtones. Amadou refused all. Roots grow in sand, not gold cups, he told Layla. I'm going home.
A week later, Sankanda welcomed them back, villagers lining the path. Chief Musa hung a new plaque at the academy's entrance, New Griot Academy, where the world Hrs Mali.
Amadou traced the letters, then turned to Issa. Now, he said softly, it's your turn.
The New Griot Academy's plaque gleamed in the sun, but storm clouds were gathering over Sankanda.
The rainy season came. EARLY.
Upstream, the Niger River swelled, its muddy waters ROA ring Tawa RD the village. One night, Amadou jolted awake in his dorm. Blind, but his EARS caught it, the river's growl, louder, closer. Floods coming. He struck the brass gong by his bed. LARMS ripped through the storm.
Students and teachers scrambled.
Pierre, leg still healing from last flood, directed them, save the recordings.
The manuscripts. The instruments.
But the water moved faster. It smashed through the low walls, swallowing the first-floor classrooms.
The generator drowned. Lights died. Darkness. Panic. Then Amadou plucked a single note on his kora, deep. Steady. Cutting through chaos. Issa understood instantly. He grabbed his violin. Abdullah his drum. Fatima her bone flute.
In the pitch-black rain, they circled Amadou and played the epic of Sundiata, strings, skins, and breath battling the storm's ROAR. Layla, soaked on the roof, live-streamed it.
Look, she shouted over the downpour. Mali's music won't drown. The world watched. France. Germany. Canada. Messages flooded in, we hear you. We're with you. Then, miraculously, boats appé red. Men from NEARBY villages, paddling through the tempest. We hear the music, they cried. We're here to help. By dawn, everyone was safe.
Most treasures saved. The academy ruined. But unbroken. UNESCO pledged to rebuild it as a flood-resistant cultural fortress. As they clear red debris, Amadou cradled his waterlogged kora, still intact. Issa, he said, true heritage isn't in shiny instruments.
It's here. He tapped his chest. When disaster strikes, music is our light. Our boat. Our roots.
Issa placed his hand on the instrument, TRS mixing with river mud.
Uncle, I understand now. This fire never goes out.
3 years later, the New Griot Academy rose again, not just a music school now, but the African Cultural Resilience Center. Thatched roofs and mud brick walls stood beside flood-proof platforms and a state-of-the-art recording studio. In the courtyard, a bronze statue, Amadou cradling his hybrid violin, flanked by Issa, violin, Abdullah, drum, and Pierre, open scorebook, on inauguration day. Sunlight bathed the crowd. Amadou, friendlier now, sat in a wheelchair pushed by Issa. Pierre walked beside them, cane in hand, his injured leg a permanent reminder, but his smile lighter than ever. Layla, director of the Awa RD-winning documentary The Blind Man's Light, spoke, we once thought dignity was wealth, status, but Master Amadou taught us, dignity is remembering who you are true wealth roots in the HRT, zones on the tongue. Applause erupted. Isa, now the new griot, accepted the ceremonial kora. He played coin and string, a composition weaving the clink of Pierre's thrown coins into a triumphant Sunday variation.
Humiliation transformed into awakening. As the last note faded, Pierre stepped four-way road. He shed his suit jacket, donning a deep blue molly and bubu. No longer a mining tycn, just the Academy's honorary trustee, and Amadou's eldest student. I once insulted music with coins, he said, voice rough. Now, I spend my days learning respect. This academy isn't charity. It's atonement. And proof that different people can fight for the same roots. After the ceremony, Amadou asked Isa to take him to Bamako. To that street corner. At dusk, they arrived. The Oasis Ga Reden's walls were gone. In their place, a small circular plaza of red EARTH and stone. At its center, a humble stele inscribed in French and Bamba Raa*. Here, a blind man's violin woke a nation's memory. Coins fell. Music endured. Gates torn down. HRTS stay open. Asterisk. A boy, maybe 7, ran over, eyeing the stele in Amadou's wheelchair. He dug out a shiny coin, offering it. Amadou didn't take it. Just smiled. No coins, child. Here, let me teach you your first song. He reached out. Isa handed him the violin. Amadou's fingers found the strings, plucking voice of the EARTH, that simplest, oldest note. Listen, he said. Asterisk, this is our route. Now repeat, I am Isa Diabate. Lion's blood. My voice belongs to tomorrow. The boy stammered the words. Isa knelt, adding harmony. Sunset painted them old griot and young heir, new student and mended violin. Their hands read the strings. Wind swept through the open violin case. Ca rang not coins now, but songs, to Mali's Starry past, to Africa's boundless future. The case wasn't empty anymore. It held stories. The gates stayed open. Because HRTS never closed.